Right, let's get into some nerdy news for the love
Yes.
of God. Now I know you had a bit of a mixed reaction to this based on your response to this.
Yeah.
Me sending you this. I am hype as fuck for this. James Spader is apparently back as Ultron for Vision Quest.
Here's my mix. Fucking love him as Ultron. I love Ultron. I've said this before. Like, Ultron as a villain is one of my favorite villains from the MCU. I think
really, really well put together.
And there's that end speech between, like, monologue moment between him and Vision is fucking incredible. I love it. I'm more like, how the fuck is Ultron back?
Okay, so here's the beauty of it. He's a fucking AI that can connect to the internet. It's so easy to just go, he's been hibernating, he's been hiding.
True. I forgot that he's actually did connect into the internet.
Yeah, he is the infinitely can never actually be killed without a bullshit bringing them back to life character.
True.
Because here's the thing as well. Only like a tiny little bit of his AI needs to survive. And yeah, it will take a while, but he can build himself back up.
You also could say through Vision himself, some part of Ultron, I guess, could come back. Yeah, absolutely. I was just like, at face like response, I was just a bit like, Ultron's dead. But now you say it like that, I'm like, oh yeah, I suppose it could just be like lost somewhere.
Robots don't die. Like, it sounds crazy, but robots don't die. Amazon Games CEO Christoph Hartmann says we need more AI in games because we don't really have acting, as the games actors are on strike for fair pay. Fuck him. What the fuck have I just heard?
Do you know what this is? This is exactly the same sort of takes that Bob Iger was giving when the actors were on strike.
And do you know what? We're going to fucking talk about it, because I am, as Horry is well aware of, I'm back on my Cyberpunk obsession at the minute.
Yeah.
I finally got around to finishing the Phantom Liberty DLC. Very, very good. Do you know who was very good in the Phantom Liberty DLC?
Who's that?
Idris Elba, award-winning actor who did all of the motion cap and acting for the DLC. Do you know who's really good in Cyberpunk? Just full stop. Johnny Silverhand, played by Keanu Reeves, who did all the motion capture and voice acting for the for the full game, and all of the other dozens of actors who recorded stuff for it, and the actors in GTA 5 and Christopher Judge from the God of War series.
Yeah,
there are more phenomenal actors doing the motion cap and the acting in video games than there has ever been. And to say that we need more generative AI to replace them is one of the scummiest things I've ever fucking heard. I can't believe you would ever even consider saying... No, not even consider saying that. Fuck saying it. I can't even believe you think that.
It's because it saves them money. This is the thing. These CEOs have all been sold on AI because they know it's going to save them wages. It saves them money. And to them, they see it as, oh, AI can make stuff faster, so we can print out more of these things, so we can make more money and pay less people. It's never about actually how good is it at doing the craft it's meant to be replicating. It's a case of how much money can it make me or save me.
We need to ban people with a background in business from any art sector. And I know what you're thinking. Oh, that could result in businesses collapsing. No, it won't. Because guess what? If it's just artists trying to do their best, the communities will protect them and help them work through it. But gaming, film, television have all got substantially worse in a lot of ways when people who just view it as a business get involved.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's why people are like, oh, the golden age of gaming is over. I don't genuinely believe that. I know a lot of people do. I just think we need to start poking people like Christopher Hartman in the eye with a sharp stick, because that is a dog shit take. And also, once again, no one who has a C-suite position deserves their job.
Yeah.
I could have put that in the hot take section, but guess what? It's a nice fucking cold take because it's obvious.
Yeah.
Like, what a just vile comment to make. I wish only bad things for him. This next bit's really cool though.
I saw. Marvel, you sent this to me.
Marvel Comics is partnering up with, I don't know the brand's name, but the For Dummies people, and they're releasing a Marvel Comics for Dummies It's coming February 2025 as part of their celebration of 85 years of Marvel, and it condenses the 85 years of Marvel's comic history into one book.
So the other
That's
week,
fucking awesome.
when we were discussing why aren't comic books doing great, how do people get into comics? Here's your answer. Just read this.
Honest to God, I have a very decent understanding. Like, I'm never going to claim I have an amazing understanding. When I need to know stuff, I go and research it. I make notes. I don't try and pretend I have all this information just locked up here.
Yeah,
I get it when I need it. This might be a cop. I think it's just a cool fucking book to have on a shelf.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just my nerd brain talking. But B, this would be great for just when I need to check something out.
Well, yeah, I think it's great for people that want to get into comics but don't know where to start, or feel like there's so much that they have to catch up on to kind of understand where things are right now. Great for them. Great for the nerds who just want that book on all the
This is like
history.
a premium collectible, isn't it?
It's like, and then also for kind of the nerds that loved like the MCU and stuff, where a new character might get referenced or prop up and you're like, I don't know that. And then you can flick through this book and find out the basics of what you need to know about what this character might
so in I don't think it's in here. No, it isn't. In the other room, I have an encyclopedia.
Yeah,
it's Marvel A to Z. It's really out of date now. But like, this is just like, this is the big brother of that. Like, this is fucking awesome. I love it so much. I want it. It's really, really cool. I can imagine this is going to sell pretty well because it's like ultimate collector's item. It's an anniversary thing. And there are going to be people, I hope, who go, maybe this is how I finally get into comic books.
Possibly. Also,
really cool.
I don't think we have it on the news, but with the 85 years, we got a little like trailer video.
We did,
celebrating
which was very cool.
Yeah, showing like Fox Day stuff, all the modern stuff, Daredevil, some of the upcoming stuff. It was cool, and Stan Lee doing like some snippets from old interviews and stuff was very cool.
The big reveal of the week. Gambit survived.
Apparently,
so
the tease that he's survived.
So when the film first came out, there were people looking at the end credits scene going, hold on one of them monitors there, you can see Gambit walking away after the fight, so he survived. So it's just that footage that's been released that was playing on the monitor, but obviously you've got it in full colour now and it's not tiny. And at the end of it, you see him turn around and you see the little golden circle of a Doctor Strange portal.
Easily added in VFX.
It's very cool. It's a cool thing. I love Channing Tatum, not just for Gambit. I love Channing Tatum. I think he's a fucking brilliant actor. He should not play Gambit again.
Here's my and I think we've talked about this a bit when we did our Deadpool review. I'm okay with him returning in the same way for like Secret Wars or Battle World, where they pull some of the old Fox characters that we didn't get to see. I'd be okay if he's also included in that. Like, he gets one last proper hurrah. Because in this one, yes, we got to see him finally, but like, it'd be pretty cool to see him do a bit more of a substantial thing. I think if the idea is that he's been pulled into the same place where Wolverine is with Deadpool, and he's living there and kind of in their world, which we know is separate to the MCU, I can be okay with that. And if that means we get to see him like once more, cool. I am also, though, with you when it comes to the MCU mutants, and we get the MCU X-Men, he should not be the Gambit for that.
No, not at all. Like, the earliest we're realistically getting the X-Men is going to be late 27, early 28, at like the earliest.
Yeah.
By which point he's 47, 48 years old. He's not sticking around as Gambit for another 10, 15 years. It can't happen. I love him. I'm glad he finally got his chance. He smashed it. It sucks that he still wants to do it because it's not the best thing for the character.
No, and we said it, and I know there's a lot of people that probably disagree and do really want him. But you've got to look at it in the sense of, this isn't just him coming back to do an X-Men film once. This is the MCU setting up the X-Men going forward for the length of time probably that we've just had the MCU and Avengers. And it's like, if you pick Channing Tatum, you're then kind of setting an age for all of the X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
There's
Well,
an
yeah, because
age
Rogue
range.
can't be 20 years old if Gambit's 40 odd.
No. So then that's what people I think are forgetting. Like, there is going to be a age range that is picked, and all the X-Men have to fit in that. You can't have like Gambit be older and then, or like Gambit be the same age of Professor X, but then also, like you say, Rogue's 20, and that it just gets it just be too messy and doesn't work. And yeah, it's a shame that he didn't get to fully live his Gambit dream. Maybe he can get one more run at it and something, but I don't think he should be the MCU Gambit.
Channing, go and make Jump Street 3. That's what the people want. Go make it happen, please.
He's apparently trying to, but like no studio will take it or something.
He needs to put all his energy into making that happen.
Do you know what I think I'd also be okay with? Is if Ryan Reynolds helps him make a Gambit film set in their current world. Like, he's got brought into their world and he gets to do one film that's a Gambit film, and it's like him figuring out what the fuck going on there or something.
Yes, that I'd be okay with. The problem is, and this was something that almost or basically got cut from the hot takes because I couldn't fully flesh out the thought. Comic book fans are getting really weird about a role belonging to an actor.
Yes.
And I don't want him to get too many more runs at it, because then people are going to start being like, oh, he's the only one who can play Gambit, and then we never get to see Gambit.
Yeah, that is also like, you can probably get away with one more time where he gets to have a fun with it. After that, you're starting to mess with what's going
on. We got a new Vox Machina Season 3 trailer.
We did. It's not too far away now.
October 3rd is the first episode, I believe.
Yes, I think so. Or 29th of September. It's either end of September, beginning of October.
Inject that shit. I need it. It looks so good.
I'm so excited for it. We've talked about it a few times, but yeah, the trailer looks sick. The humor's there. The animation style looks great as always. I know the story's going to be great. I'm just looking forward to how it's adapted and what get to see what bits next.
I've been missing my boys Scanlan and Grog a lot, and I'm very excited to have them back.
Yeah.
I'm very, very excited. I'm going to be honest, this next bit made the news because my Cyberpunk obsession is back.
I gathered
Twitter
as much.
knew. It just means that despite not saying anything on Twitter about it, my Twitter knew, and therefore I got more CD Projekt Red stuff on my feed.
They're always listening.
So CD Projekt Red have released I don't know what it was part of. I assume it's part of an investor call or something, but they basically said what's going on.
Yeah, roadmap sort of thing.
Project Polaris, I think it is, or that might be the one after. The next Witcher game is now getting ready to go into full production mode.
Yes.
Orion is the next biggest project they're currently working on, which is the Cyberpunk sequel, and that is currently deep in the planning stage.
Yes.
I need it. I will play Cyberpunk 2077 until the day that comes out, do not get me wrong. But I need it. I need everything from that universe.
You're going to
be Speaking of which, they have confirmed that they are looking into new animated projects from Night City and that they will be happening. So they did a poll where they gave fans 4 options. One was a trauma team show.
Ooh.
One was another kind of faction-based show. One was an Edge Runners spin-off, and one was something set in Cyberpunk but outside Night City, I believe.
Right. Yeah, because there is also
yeah. And the fan vote was for a spin-off from Edge Runners, which I think realistically that was always going to be, because it's more of what I know, thank you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm incredibly excited. We were literally, in fact, I'm going to pull up the exact DMs.
Yeah,
One second.
We both love Edge Runners. I can't remember if it was I got you to watch, or told you definitely need to watch it, sort of thing.
Yeah, I think you watched it first, and you were like, "Did you know this was on Netflix?" And I was like, "No, I did not." And you're like, "You're going to want to watch that."
Yeah, it's so good. I will say, I've said it to friends and stuff. This is probably one of the best single season animated shows ever. The amount of character development they fit in 6 episodes or 8 episodes, whatever it is fucking nuts.
Yeah.
It's an amazing and so well written. I actually don't ever want them to go back to these characters. The story was so well contained that doing a spin-off, I think, would be wrong. I 100%
I guess it depends what they mean by a spin-off.
My worry is if they pick one of the, like Lucy at the end and do something with her.
Yeah.
I just, like, I don't want them to fuck with that. It was so good. Don't mess it up by trying to do more of it. If anything, just give us more Night City. It's a huge city. That world is so deep with lore and stories. You can have so much fun in it.
Yeah.
Do that again, but with something new.
Yeah.
It'll be incredible.
This is what I was saying to Jenna. The beauty of Night City is that it's so much death and murder and chaos that you can literally have basically anything short of a nuke going off, and it's completely reasonable that people have moved on and forgotten about it later on.
Yeah.
And it's not a big deal. Like, that is the beauty of it. But I told Tori, me and Jenna were rewatching it, or I was rewatching it, Jenna was watching it.
I'm pretty sure my response was, "Oh no, the feels," or something.
Yeah, oh, not the feels. I said, when Jenna ends up seeing Den, I'll let you know how it goes. Hori, favourite message you've ever sent me, I think. She will cry, and that's okay. Can confirm she did cry. Although not until it had all fully ended, which was really
sunk
funny.
in.
Yeah. And I said, I need 6 movies, 12 TV shows, 60 video games, and a theme park, all centered around Night City. It might be outside of like the obvious ones, like Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, DC, Marvel, might be the best fictional universe. And I say this as someone who fears this future of like mega corporations controlling everything.
I think that's.
But it's so weird that I crave it. I'm like, I just want to be. I want to be out there on my tunes, going for gigs.
Here's the thing. I think we get like that because it's like it is somewhat believable, and you're like, well, I can see this actually being the world that we end up in, but I want to experience it. So can it kind of happen now? Because some of this stuff is kind of cool, like robotic limbs. I'm okay with that.
What I think it is. I think it's the beauty inside the tragedy that really sells it. Because the robot limbs are cool. The buildings are spectacular and massive, but they are deeply depressing. The risk of cyber psychosis, the dependence on drugs, even if you have a very simple bit of hardware. Like, it is all deeply depressing, but it's such a collective state of depression that it feels more tight-knit than real life does. There's a better sense of community in the Night City world because of how bleak it is.
Do you know what?
And that's beautiful.
I wonder if they do Night City again for the second game.
I think we get Night City plus another city. I think we get 2 cities.
Possibly.
That's why
we know it's going to be a different time. I'm pretty sure they've said that it won't be like right after the game.
No.
So,
very, very cool. I need it all.
Always loved the Cyberpunk world. I think, and CD Projekt Red are incredible at building out worlds.
I'm gonna say something now in the hope that I never get called out on it, but maybe I will. No matter when that game comes out, even if I've not made content in years, it will be a book the week off and stream every second of it kind of game.
You know, when you're good friends and your brain goes to something morbid and wants to make a joke about it.
Were you to say, what if you're dead?
I was going to say, well, if for unfortunate reasons you're dead, I'll make sure to do a stream with you in.
Yeah. Just ask Jenna to borrow my ashes when you just play it on my channel. Yeah. Good. Sounds good. I can live with that.
Okay.
Right. Next up, really cool Fantastic Four set leaks. We got to see the Thing.
We did.
Pre-VFX.
Yeah.
And like, obviously, like, I always worry that I'm gonna sound like I'm ragging on you when I say stuff like this. You are not familiar with the Thing in the comics that well, so you don't have much of a frame of reference other than the versions of the Thing we've seen on the big screen. So when you went, I've just had a look at him in comics, that looks really close.
So
I was like, yeah.
I had like when I saw it, I was like, I feel like I've definitely seen comic panels and The Thing in
Yeah.
comic form, and it was like I saw it and I was like, my brain's telling me that is the comic, but I'm not 100% sure. So then when I looked, I was like, oh, that is definitely the comic.
Yeah.
It just, something about it immediately, my brain was like, oh, you've seen this before. This is just now in live action.
Yeah. It's the use of like the really big kind of eyebrow.
Yes.
That
It's
really
100% the
sells
eyebrow
it.
and the face shape.
Yeah. It's,
I wonder if they're
really,
learning
really
a bit
cool.
from like the Deadpool films because they've been so successful in having them in practical suits, and like Deadpool's is they do the VFX on the eyes. They're going to try and bring some of that method to how they're going to do the Thing.
Yeah, because that's what they do. That's what they do. Don't they get Ryan Reynolds to like re-record the lines, even though they use the audio from him behind the mask, which is crazy. To capture what his face looks like delivering the lines, so they can then like use like the
They use it as
masking
reference
tool to like get it right,
Yeah.
and that's why it sells so well. Deadpool is a masterpiece, not because of doing anything particularly special, but purely because it proved once and for all you can have a superhero film where the actor does not have to take their mask off every 5 seconds.
Yeah.
The only other person I've seen act that well with a mask on is Andrew Garfield. And you know how I feel about Andrew Garfield. He's one of the greatest actors of our generation. I will die on that fucking hill.
Yeah.
So yeah, Fantastic Four. You know how excited I am for this. The color scheme looks amazing. The vibe looks immaculate. The cast suit each other, which is actually all that matters.
Do you know
and now
what
I see this Fantastic Four costume, and I'm like,
do you know what I'm now picturing? Cousin
Go on.
under that mask. Like he was there in that, and I'm like, now I'm thinking like, go, well, that's quite a visual.
Remedy Games investor announcement has shown that the game's Control and Alan Wake are being shopped around to potentially be brought to film and or TV. This is kind of what I want to see. Well, no, because this is what I'm talking about. Borderlands, I think the mistake Borderlands tables, they went big brand, not too much storytelling potential.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
This is smaller brands, but very much story potential.
True.
Like, these are cool. Alan Wake is like a kind of creepy horror TV show. That's
good. Alan Wake is a good shout for that.
I don't know too much about Control, other than I've installed it and uninstalled it about 6 times when I convinced myself I'm going to play a story game. And I'm like, that looks really good. I want to play that. I install it. And then 6 months later, when I've been distracted by the latest got ya game, I then uninstall it because I need it for something else.
Fair.
Amandla Stenberg, who plays May and Osha, says she wasn't surprised about the Acolyte being cancelled, as the hatred was so intense even from when the cast was revealed. She kind of had a feeling it would happen. What a sad, vile society we live in when someone isn't shocked that their show got cancelled because of the amount of racist, homophobic, sexist abuse they were receiving from the announcement of the show.
We've talked so much about this.
Yeah.
And it's like, and to the people that are like, oh, it only got cancelled because it had bad viewership. Sure, that was probably part of it, and they claim that that's why. But when you get stuff like this, quite clearly, everyone's hatred of it, like.
Well, so here's the thing: I'm okay with believing that it got cancelled because of low viewership. That's absolutely fine. What I'm not going to do is sit here and act like a bunch of people review bombing it in a choreographed way and shitting on it every day on Twitter doesn't cause fewer people to give it a chance.
Yeah.
People who would then like the show.
Oh yeah, it's like those actions cause less people to view it.
Yes. That's like, it's all well and good going, oh, the racists, the racists going, oh, well, we didn't get cancelled. No one wanted to watch that shit. And it's like, no, you guys review bombing sometimes the wrong projects because you're that thick, and also just spewing your hatred about it all day, every day, causes then that you've got to remember, there's a bubble of people who will watch anything Star Wars and probably love it. There's a bubble of people who watch everything Star Wars and probably hate it. Then you've got a group in the middle who will give Star Wars a chance if it seems good. And they will look at stuff like Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb and Letterboxd and all of that, and they'll look at the sentiment on Twitter, and then they'll decide whether they're going to give it a shot. When you're review bombing it before the episodes even actually come out, and talking shit about it on Twitter and claiming it's the worst thing ever, some of them people are going to go, oh, okay, maybe I won't watch it then. And that's not their fault.
No, but yeah.
And that's my bigger issue here. I'm not debating whether it had low enough viewership to be cancelled. I'm debating the notion that low viewership wasn't caused by the vile behaviour.
Yeah, it's...
Or
it's
at least partially. Next up, every word in this sentence makes me happy. Edgar Wright is doing a Running Man remake starring Glenn Powell. So Running Man is the 1980s, 1990s action film with Arnold Schwarzenegger, where it's the game show that's really violent.
Yeah.
So here, let me talk about it. Edgar Wright, obviously one of my favourite directors. I love him. Glenn Powell, I don't know if I've discussed this on the podcast, and it's going to sound like I'm just jumping on a bandwagon right now. Jenna can confirm, I said this about 6 months ago. A Hollywood executive in the week said Glenn Powell might have some of the biggest star power in the world right now. People are going to the cinema to see Glenn Powell. They don't care what the film is.
Okay.
And that's why Glenn Powell can do, like, The Hitman for Netflix and Twisters and, like, such a wide genre of films because he's got star power. And I said to Jenna, actually, about 6 months ago, people keep on trying to say that superstar actors are dead, and like Tom Cruise is going to be the last one ever, we're never going to have another one. And I said to her, I was like, Glenn Powell is going to be that dude because he's doing anything that seems fun to him. He's not getting stuck in a genre. He's not getting typecast. He will be an action hero. He will be a goofy rom-com lead. He'll be a goofy comedy lead. This dude just loves to make films, and he'll say yes to anything that speaks to him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, cool. So Hollywood execs have now caught up to where I was 6 months ago. Cool. Nice to know. This film, everything... A Running Man remake is one of few films from the 80s I'm kind of down for. That along with, like, Demolition Man.
God, yeah. That's a...
Glenn Powell has got the star power to make this fun.
Yeah.
And Edgar Wright's artistic style.
Yeah.
This is a winner.
Potentially.
It's a winner. No, absolute certified W. Triple plat right now. I want it. That I saw this tweet and nothing has ever made me so happy. I'm like, this is something I didn't know I needed, but now I can't wait another 5 minutes. Already booked my tickets for it. Doesn't even have a release date yet. It's crazy. And also just brilliant news for the people who love life. Ted Lasso season 4 is happening.
So I saw this and I was like, I haven't watched Ted Lasso. I've seen plenty of clips of Ted Lasso. I wasn't sure if like this was a good thing or not, because I didn't know if season 3 had ended in like a pretty good way, or if people wanted more or not.
People absolutely want more. It did end in a satisfactory way.
Okay.
But there were things that were left unresolved that people want resolved.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But they did it in kind of like the traditional storytelling way of, we're going to leave this unresolved, so whatever you want to happen, you can decide in your head is the thing that happened. And people are like, no, I need you to explicitly tell me that the thing we all want to happen happened. I know you're not a football fan.
No.
You will still adore Ted Lasso.
The clips I've seen of it, it looks really good. And it's just one of them shows that's like, at some point, I might get to.
It is genuinely so good. Put it this way. Me and Jenna started watching it before she got into football. I genuinely think it's a big part of the driving force that got her to give football a chance. And we only watched it because we had a free trial of Apple TV after one of us bought our new phones. And I was like, oh, Ted Lasso's on there. We should give that a go. I've heard good things. Hooked. We binged all 3 seasons so quickly. And then she was like, oh, we don't have Apple TV anymore. I was like, we'll just have to wait for it all to come out and then buy a month of Apple TV and binge it for that month. And she's like, that is absolutely what we'll have to do. It is some of the best unique TV out there right now. And the fact we're getting a full season is amazing. I adore Hannah Waddington. I adore Jason Sudeikis. That cast is just I'm so I've never been so excited at a show getting renewed for another season before, especially out of nowhere. I'm like, oh, it's happening. Really, really fucking excited. I cannot wait.